Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on A Lover's Complaint. We're actually almost to the end of it. Today we've got stanzas 37 to 40, and I think there's only 47 stanzas in this poem. Only 47 stanzas. But anyway, we have a very distraught woman who fell in love with a man who she shouldn't have fallen in love with. And then he started to woo her by saying all of the things that one might want to hear a potential lover saying. You know, I've been with other people, but that was just lust. I've never been in love with before until it was you, and look at all of this stuff that all of these other lovers have given me. I give it all to you. And in yesterday's stanzas, he was even talking about how this nun had fallen in love with him, as if that's a thing, like that's a line. Yeah, everybody wants me, even this nun, so you should want me too. And just out of curiosity, did any of you go out and try to hit on somebody by saying a nun wanted me, so you should too? Because I would love to hear how that went. But anyway, stanza 37 continues on with that theme. This is still the distraught woman speaking in the voice of the beautiful man who rides a horse really well to the older gentleman who was hoping that he might be able to help her in some respect. Stanza 37 picks up with, "How mighty then you are! Oh, hear me tell, the broken bosoms that to me belong have emptied all their fountains in my well, and mine I pour your ocean all among. I, strong o'er them, and you or me being strong, must for your victory us all congest, as compound love to physic your cold breast. My parts had power to charm a sacred nun, who disciplined, I dieted in grace, believed her eyes when they to assail begun, all vows and consecrations giving place. O most potential love, vow, bond, nor space in thee have neither sting, knot, nor confine, for thou art all, and all things else are thine. When thou impressest what are precepts worth of stale example, when thou wilt inflame, how coldly those impediments stand forth of wealth, of filial fear, law, kindred, fame. Love's arms are peace against rule, against sense, against shame, and sweetens in the suffering pangs it bears the aloes of all forces, shocks, and fears. Now all these hearts that do on mine depend, feeling it break, with bleeding groans they pine, and supplicant their sighs to you extend, to leave the battery that you make 'gainst mine, lending soft audience to my sweet design, and credent soul to that strong bonded oath that shall prefer and undertake my troth." So he's laying it on thick. Here is what's going on. He's like, all of these other people that have given me all of this stuff, and now I give all of this stuff to you, so you have to take it and take all of us together. Like, that has to warm your heart, that like by the transitive property, all of them want me and I want you, so all of us technically want you. That has to be flattering in some way, right? Which is an interesting tack to take. Before we get into a little bit more into the other three stanzas, you know, there's that old adage that whoever it is that you're sleeping with, you're technically sleeping with all the people that they have previously slept with. And in this day and age, that's considered to be, you know, maybe a little gross and unsanitary and potentially not a healthy thing to do. Anyway, in this respect, the way that this lands on me anyway is that he's saying that that's a good thing, that by sleeping with him you will have gotten to be with all of these other people who've given me all this stuff. This whole like transitive property thing that he has going on to me is really weird. But then in the second of these stanzas, he once again brings up the nun, the fact that this nun wanted him. He's like, she gave up all this stuff to be with me, and you are everything, so everything is yours, and that's, you know, that's why we should be together. And then he gets a little heady about it, saying, you know, when you're in the throes of love, or in his case probably lust, like reason doesn't really work there, and the passion that you feel becomes more important than anything else, more important than money or fear of retribution or what your family might say or legal things. He's like, in the arms of love, you find peace and security, and all of those other things don't matter anymore. So he's like, he wraps it up, and he does really wrap it up, because after this stanza, it's back to her providing commentary on what he has said in their relationship and all of that. He's like, now all of these other people that love me can feel the fact that you're breaking my heart, so they are also kind of pleading with you to be with me. They're like, they've got my side, so at some point you have to give in for the sake of all of us. So he's laying it on thick. He very much wanted to sleep with the woman who is telling us this tale. And, she already admitted that she was curious about it. She was sort of tired of hearing everybody else talk about how great a lover he was. So she was a bit curious. And then you add to that all of these arguments that he's making for why she should be with him. And let's face it, he's doing a lot of peer pressuring here as well. And peer pressure, when you're already kind of curious about something, at some point you kind of say, why not? So in the next couple stanzas, we'll find out how that turned out when she eventually said, why not? Which we already know she did, because she admitted that a few stanzas ago. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.